You are the director of the Central Intelligence Agency, and you just killed 12 people who had nothing to do with it. The strike was clean. The intelligence was clean. You gave the order yourself, standing in the operations center at 4:47 in the morning, coffee going cold in your hand, watching a thermal feed from 30,000 feet. The target was confirmed. The location was confirmed. Two separate source chains, independently verified, cross-referenced against signals intelligence collected over a period of 9 days. You did everything right. You followed every protocol. You signed every form. And now 12 civilians are dead in a village in the Eastern Corridor, and you have 20 minutes before you walk into the Oval Office and look the President of the United States in the eye. You're still in the building. Still in the same room where you gave the order. The screens are still lit. The analysts around you aren't talking. Nobody is talking. The only sound is the low mechanical hum of the ventilation system and the distant click of someone's keyboard, someone who doesn't know what to do with their hands. You know that feeling. You're living it right now. Your deputy steps close and says the preliminary count is confirmed. 12 dead, 4 of them children. The words land like something physical. You don't react. You've trained yourself not to react in rooms like this one, because the moment you show it, everything falls apart. And you are the thing holding this together right now. So you breathe. You set your jaw. You say, "Get me everything." Every piece of imagery, every intercept, every source report, every timestamp. I want to know where the failure was before I walk into that building. 18 minutes. The debrief starts coming in fragments. The original source placed the target at the compound for a confirmed overnight stay. Signals intelligence picked up a phone associated with the target, pinging a tower within 400 meters of the strike site. A secondary human source, someone who had been reliable for 3 years, placed the vehicle in the village at 0300. Every piece pointed the same direction. The picture was coherent. The picture made sense. But the target wasn't there. The target had moved. Sometime between 0300 and the moment of impact, the target got in a car and drove north, and nobody caught it, and nobody flagged it. And you gave the order anyway because everything you had said. Go. 15 minutes. You're reading the imagery now. You can see the compound in the before frames. You can see the vehicle. You can see heat signatures, bodies moving through the structure. And you remember looking at this exact feed and seeing what you needed to see. What you wanted to see. That word lands in your chest like a stone. Wanted. Did you want it to be him? Did the pressure of the last 4 months, the congressional briefings, the near miss in Hamburg, the threat streams that kept climbing every week, did all of that collapse your judgment in some way you didn't feel happening? You don't know. You genuinely don't know. And that might be the most terrifying thing you've ever admitted to yourself. 12 minutes. Your communications director appears at your shoulder and tells you the story is already moving. A regional journalist has posted images. Unverified, she says, but the metadata is consistent. You tell her to say nothing, confirm nothing, deny nothing until you've spoken to the president. She nods and disappears, and you're already moving toward the door. In the car, you open the briefing folder on your lap. You've built hundreds of these. You know how to structure bad news for a head of state. You lead with what happened. You follow with what was known at the time. You establish the decision logic. You separate the intelligence failure from the operational execution. You make clear what you are doing right now to understand the gap. You do not speculate on fault until the review is complete. But your hands are not steady on the folder. You notice that. You press them flat against the page and stare out the window at the dark street sliding past, and you think about 4 children. You think about what that village looked like before the strike and what it looks like now. You think about the source who put the vehicle there and whether that source was wrong or whether that source was played, whether someone fed you a picture that was designed to look exactly like the truth. And that thought opens a door you don't have time to walk through right now. 8 minutes. The car pulls through the gate. You know this approach. You've made it dozens of times. Tonight it feels different. Tonight the weight of the building is visible from the outside. You gather the folder. You straighten your jacket. You run through the sequence one more time in your head. What happened? What was known? What was decided? What is being done? 5 minutes. You're in the corridor. Your footsteps are the only sound. An aide falls into step beside you and says the president has been briefed on the basic facts and is waiting. You ask if the National Security Advisor is in the room. She is. You ask if the Secretary of Defense has been notified. He has. You ask if anyone has spoken to the families. She hesitates. You tell her that needs to happen, that it cannot come from a journalist, that real people are sitting in that village right now who deserve to hear from someone before they see it on a screen. She says she'll make the call. You keep walking. 2 minutes, you stop outside the door, just for a second. Not because you're afraid of the president, not because you don't know what to say. You stop because on the other side of this door you will speak out loud the thing that you have been carrying for the last 40 minutes. And once you say it in that room, it becomes permanent. It becomes history. It becomes the thing you ordered on a Tuesday morning in April when the intelligence was clean and the target was confirmed, and 12 people who were not the target were asleep in a village they had lived in their whole lives. You put your hand on the door, and then your phone vibrates. You look down. It's your deputy. One line of text. No greeting, no context, just the words sitting there on the screen. The source was a double. He's been working for them for 2 years. The target was never there. You were meant to pull the trigger. You were the weapon. The whole time, you were the weapon. And you just walked into the Oval Office to explain to the most powerful person on Earth how you were used to massacre 12 civilians in an operation that your enemy designed, built, and handed to you like a gift. You opened the door,